apocalypse!
Hey guys, this is JD with In Session Film. Just got out of seeing the new movie Pacific Rim, which is directed by Guillermo del Toro and stars Idris Elba, Charlie Hunnan, Charlie Day, Ron Perlman, and a few others as well. And just gotta say right off the bat, I loved this movie. It's probably my favorite of the whole year, but it definitely has its flaws. The movie starts out pretty quickly. Del Toro wastes no time getting you right into the story. There's a great montage at the beginning of the film as the story is basically being laid out to you, a lot of the backstory anyway, and you really get into it rather quickly. I thought the pacing was a little bit too fast, especially since there's no original material before this where you're familiar with everything, so you're kind of being thrown into it really quickly. But if you don't mind that and you can get into that, it really gets you into the aesthetic really great. But once you get into that, you meet Charlie Hunnan, who is the main character in this movie, and he's a pilot, and he is in this Jaeger with his brother, and there's some dynamics there that are really amazing and really cool. But there's also some stuff that I had some issues with some of that stuff that I can't get into without spoilers. But I thought the dynamics between them could have been explored a little bit better. That being said, the drifting and the relationship dynamics you get between the pilots that operate these Jaegers is incredible. The visuals that go along with that are amazing. It's just a lot of fun, and it really gets you into the action, into the relationships that they're having to share to do these fights, and it's just really amazing. What Del Toro does with the visuals is incredible. The amount of detail that goes into the monsters in this film it's just incredible. On what you can definitely tell that's where most of the budget went, is to bring in these monsters to life and to bring in these Jaegers to life. The comparisons that people have made to Transformers is a little bit ridiculous to me after watching this. Other than giant robots that are tall, that's about the only similarities that you get here. This is not Michael Bay's Transformers by any means. There's a lot of relationship dynamics to get here between many of the characters. The character development is much more than what you would get in a Transformers film by far, and I thought Del Toro did a really good job of exploring all of that for the most part. Yeah, it's a little bit cheesy. It's an action sci-fi movie. You can kind of predict where it's going, but you can pretty much make that criticism for every movie in this genre. But outside of that, I thought he did a really great job. This is one of my favorite Del Toro films for sure. It's one of the better films I've seen so far this year. I definitely have a lot more for this in my full review that you can read at InSessionFilm.com. And Nate and I, and also we're going to have a fun special guest on our podcast this weekend where we're going to go into this a lot more, and I'll have a lot more to say about it then. But for now, go read my full review at InSessionFilm.com. I'm going to give this grade an A-. It's great, has a few flaws, but it's still a lot of fun, and it's just amazing. And I think a lot of people will like it, even though it has a few issues with it. But anyway, go check it out, InSessionFilm.com. We'll see you this weekend on the podcast.